Good morning. We're gonna get back on this 931 engine. I'm gonna work on passenger side motor mount, exhaust manifold, anything I can get on that side of the engine this morning. So it'll go a little slow because I'm gonna clean and maybe paint some of these components. It's looking good right now. I hate to put on oily, nasty looking parts. So slower than disassembly, but hopefully by the time we're done, it's presentable. Okay, starting off with the passenger side motor mount bracket. Now, I reviewed the video when I took all this apart, and a lot of this stuff on this side of the engine is interconnected. For example, the oil filter assembly. Because on the NA cars, normally aspirated, the oil filter just screws right down on that. On this one, it's got like this whole assembly with a spigot that goes to the turbo for the oil. But anyway, these brackets are all kind of interconnected, and getting these bolts in and out is. I'm just going to take it slowly. Just put them on loosely unless I can't get to them after I put another component on there. And then I'll have to consult Haynes for the torque specs. So the next thing, I think I'll put the exhaust manifold on it. Obviously, I'm missing some studs. There's 4 studs around here somewhere, unless those sheared off. I didn't say anything about that in the video, so they're probably here on my shelf with the nut rusted on top. It's usually what happens. Well, here's my first surprise. I got a crack in the exhaust header. Now, I checked it with a magnet. It appears to be cast iron. So, I guess I'm gonna cut a little valley in there and try to get some weld. It's not a huge crack, but it will be sooner or later. Oh boy. Surprise, surprise. Yep, I cranked up the amps and wire speed. I think I got good penetration. It seems to be holding okay. I don't think I'm even going to grind it off. I don't know that it's going to mess with anything, just like it is. We'll see if it holds. So I'm putting a little paint on that exhaust manifold while I'm waiting for it to dry. I'm going to put this crankcase breather back on, but this gasket that was under it does not come with this kit. So I'm just going to make one out of some gasket material I got and be done with that. Yeah, a little paint never hurts nothing. So there's a sealing ring here on the exhaust outlet, and this ring did come with the kit, and it was a little crusty, so I had to kind of beat it out with a screwdriver, but we'll definitely replace that. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. So with the passenger side motor mount on, you cannot get to that exhaust stud there, so I didn't tighten it up. I'll just pull it off. These are all 12 millimeter, of course, locking, and I did find the studs with the nuts rusted on top of them. Hopefully I can tighten them down to spec. All right, only 18 foot-pounds on those header bolts. So the next thing I got to figure out is how the turbo and the oil filter go back on. Got a lot of tools out here. Sorry about that. Here's the oil filter attachment. And then the rebuilt turbo that Lindsay Racing had done for me. Now, this is a little tricky. I know somehow it nestles in. I think it's going to be these bolts here. I can't remember what was over there, and it appears that the motor mount has something to do with that as well. So let me go back to my videos, take a look at that, and hopefully the answer resides there. Okay, so I think the next thing is going to be this bracket, and I can't find the bolts for it. They're 8mm by 25, and it's got a pipe that goes on top right here, and that joins into the oil filter housing with that banjo. Okay, so it's starting to get pretty crazy. That sealing ring, this mating surface goes here on the turbo. So the turbo actually dangles from this bracket. Anyway, I don't have that sealing ring. I'm gonna have to order that because that's critical. Yeah, I'm finding out more and more these little seals and stuff didn't come in that kit, which is supposed to be a comprehensive kit, but it's all right. We'll get through it. So I got to get some bolts, got to order a sealing ring. Probably kind of piece this together a little bit further. I'm sure there's some more seals that need to be ordered. So anyway, we've got some progress here. Also need to get another bolt here. That's a caps. It's 10mm caps, 10 by 25. That's missing. And I still don't know what joins on here yet. Maybe nothing. Anyway, there'll be another video. It looks like I got some rainy days here, and I'm going to keep plugging. Thanks for watching. All right, I'm staying on it. I got some replacement bolts, the 8mm by 25s for that turbo bracket. So this copper tube, which would be the feed to the turbo, comes right out of the oil filter adapter. To get all this stuff to connect, you got to kind of leave it all loose. Actually, what I did is I left this off, made the banjo loosely, and then spun it into position. But I mean, I left everything kind of loose, and it's the only way to do it because it's just really tight, and that's a very specific bend in that copper tube. So I'm going to have to get that replacement O-ring before I can mount the turbo. I'm going to look at, there's a couple of hoses that can go on here. Also, I could do the distributor housing and the coolant sensor. So I'll probably do those two next because I'm fairly confident I have gaskets for those. All right. I got the distributor housing on, the water temperature sensor housing, assembly, whatever, and then the oil pressure sender back here. So now I'm going to put the thermostat housing on, and the old piece of water pipe that was on there, hose pipe, is toast. So I got me some new, just off the shelf. I don't know if it needs a custom bend or not, but this should work just fine. All right, well, it was a real struggle, but it can be done with a piece of 1-inch This regular old heater hose. I suspect that hose was a custom because it doesn't line up from here to here. It's offset. So what happens is you'll really struggle trying to get the bolts in, because basically I put the hose on, put this clamp on, the hose on, just no clamp here, and just kind of twisted it to get it to line up, and it'll just fight you the whole time. Damn near stripped out the mounting holes for these bolts. But I got it on there and clamped real good, so it should work fine. Now I think I am at the end of my day. That kicked my butt pretty good. So yeah, good progress. I'll have to order that one O-ring in order to mount the turbo. About all I can think of. I put in a couple more of those sealing rings, the metal sealing rings that are on the banjo bolts. So, I mean, you can reuse those, but most guys say to replace them. I've even taken them and put them on some fine sandpaper, get rid of little burrs and stuff, and that usually works okay. I've never had one leak. But anyway, all right, I'm calling it a day for sure. This time for real. Thanks for watching.